Welcome. Today we have an all-star team of pioneering educators that will briefly describe some of the many aspects of supporting students with learning, emotional, and communication challenges in the virtual school environment. Today we have Jennifer Baldwin from England, Stacey Rouse from North Carolina, Lindsay Miller from Illinois, Elizabeth Cervantes from Naples, Italy, Leah Cuomo from Stuttgart, and Valerie Rainey from Wiesbaden, Germany. Today, you guys will hear everything about special education and DODEA virtual school environment and all the tricks and tips that you guys may want to know about how these spectacular ladies work through the DODEA virtual school challenges. Stay tuned and listen to all those tips and tricks because I'm getting ready to listen about them too. We really do a lot, so much that it's hard to cover it all in one presentation. Today, we will try to cover the tip of the SPED DVS iceberg. One aspect of the special education in DVS is the speech and language services. Leah, what will be an activity for speech and language therapy?
Absolutely. Leah Cuomo coming from Stuttgart, Germany here. And one of the resources that I very much enjoy using is the Wonderopolis website. This is helpful for students who have communication issues, specifically with language. This article that I'm looking at here is all about plagiarism, so it's very relevant to some of the issues that we might deal with in the virtual environment. The immersive reader is an awesome tool that comes with this website, and as it opens, you can see that you can actually have it read aloud, which is very helpful for some of our students who possibly struggle with just decoding of written language. Over here on the right, we've got some preferences that are available to us, different things like text size for students who possibly have a visual impairment. We also have some background colors. This is another thing that's really helpful for some of my students who have dyslexia. My kids seem to really enjoy the dark background, especially when they're on the computer screen all day. They appreciate not having such a bright screen to be looking at. There are also some other tools here within the Wonderopolis website. We have the option to, if we're working on some grammatical concepts, I can highlight the nouns, I can highlight the adjectives, whatever it may be that we're working on. And then my favorite part of the Wonderopolis website is something called the line focus. So as we're reading, it actually gives the option to navigate and narrow the field of vision for my students as we're reading. It also has the option for the translator. So here in Germany, perhaps we have a student who is exposed to the German language at home. When we click on the words, it'll give it to us in English as well as in German, and that's super helpful. Another positive aspect of the Wonderopolis website is the visual dictionary. Sometimes our students with communication disorders just need that visual as well as the auditory feedback, and I find that to be very helpful.
So those are excellent tools, Leah. Have you had any experiences and challenges that the kids have displayed using this kind of tools?
Personally, once we walk through it, once they're exposed to it, they understand the format, they understand the options available to them, they have no problems whatsoever, and they seem to really enjoy this activity.
This is really cool, Leah. Thank you very much for your presentation. And we're going to go now with another professional from the DODEA Virtual School. Hey. Another essential component of DVS SPED department is communication and collaboration among the stakeholders, parents, and students. One of the professionals who's going to share information about this is Valerie Rainey, and she's all about communication, and she's going to tell us all the tricks and behind the screen. So, Valerie, it's all you.
Hi, Oz. Thanks. I'm coming to you from Wiesbaden, Germany. And working in DVS, we all know that communication is key. So as special education teachers, we are in daily meetings with our students, touching base so they can see us and we can see them. We also attend the live Google meetings with their general education classes, and they know that we're there. That allows us to participate. That allows us to track the assignments with them. And then we also have our students share work with us. It's really helpful when they share their Jamboard or they share a Google slideshow or Google Doc or Google Classroom assignment. That allows us to monitor progress, make comments, and then also help track that those assignments get turned in. We also cannot leave out our families. It can get pretty lonely in the virtual world, and we don't want families to feel disconnected from us either. So we send regular communication to our families, and it looks like newsletters, assignment reminders, checklists, strategies to help students be successful virtually. There's a lot of things that we'll try, and if it exists, we will try it. And another communication guru out there is Liz, and she's going to tell us more.
Thank you. I'm Liz Cervantes. I'm coming at y'all from Naples, Italy. I'm going to talk a little bit about how we use Google Hangouts and Microsoft Teams. Google Hangouts is, I think, one of the most used tools by all of us across DDS. We use it to talk to the kids, our colleagues, groups that we're in, as well as parents. I've even had some parents come into those Google Meet conversations. Of course, we use Microsoft Teams when we want to talk to our colleagues or whenever there's any type of information that needs to be secure. It's a great place where we can access caseloads and any type of IEP information that we may need to come across. We can't forget about Schoology. We all use Schoology. Schoology is a great tool that general education teachers, as well as the LI teachers and speech and language teachers use as well. We can use Schoology to help us monitor behavior and engagement. We like to give our kiddos some of those badges when they are engaged, turning in assignments on time, or so many other things. We use it as a communication tool where we can reiterate what those general education teachers want the kiddos to know. When we have a meeting that we've noticed that the kids are not attending, bing, 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 time to get in. And we use them for analytics. We're able to see if our kids are logging in to Schoology, how much time they're spending in there. And we also use it to give resources. We use resources that we believe our students are going to benefit from. They could be from their general education teachers, as well as resources that we find. And another huge component is all of the IEP and data collecting that we do. And Stacy's going to talk to you guys about that.
Hey, I'm Stacy Rouse from Emerald Isle, North Carolina, and I'm going to talk about now what do we do with all of those pieces, all of the data, all of those elements that we use to communicate and tools that we use. So the data piece is huge for us. So using all those tools and then collecting the data on those tools that we use. So keeping a running record of the communication with our parents and our students and the Google Meets. That's what drives our instruction, and that's what drives our IEP process, which we're still responsible for. So we take data on everything that you can think of, use that information to do our IEPs, that we still have DVS transition meetings. We have annual reviews. We have triannual reviews. We have 9th and 12th grade graduation and exit and transition meetings. Using all that information, that's kind of what we do on the backside that nobody really gets to see. That's not our interaction with students, maybe, but that's how we document all of these things that we do throughout the day.
And that's something that I have seen it live from the DODEA brick and mortar schools. We have to communicate with you guys. And the biggest challenge that I've seen so far right now is the daunting collecting the signatures from parents and everybody else. We have to send so many emails and encrypted emails to keep the confidentiality because it's important. Thank you, ladies, for the information about communication and collaboration. A very important component of the DODEA virtual school is the behavior challenges that some students can face through these tough times. And Lindsay Miller is one of our emotionally impaired teachers who's going to tell us everything about the tricks, tips, and more about how to deal or work with a special education student with behavior challenges. Liz, the camera is all yours.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Miller. I'm in Southern Illinois. So working with the younger grades, you were communicating directly with the parents. Some parents let me know right away that they're struggling with working with their kids at home, getting assignments completed or staying on task. I wanted to address these social emotional goals with emotion regulation in a virtual setting, and this was completely different than what it was in a brick and mortar school. In my classroom in the brick and mortar school, I have a token economy, and I just kind of carried it over to DVS. And this time it's got parents involved. This is a great way to get data from parents about behavior or the social emotional goals, as well as data in the virtual school environment. Goals that can be targeted are self-regulation, not blowing up and getting upset about something, on-task behavior, assignment completion, whatever that specific student needs to be successful. It's a great way to get the students motivated to do what they're supposed to do, and it also can be carried over to the brick and mortar school when they transition back. Up next, we have the amazing Jennifer Baldwin, who's going to continue to give us some more information about social emotional needs.
Okay, thanks for that, Lindsay. I'm Jen Baldwin. I'm based in the east of England, and as an EI provider in DVS, I wish I could say there was an easy answer to the question what it is that we do, but our activities are as varied as the students that we serve. We do have some students who are academically extremely capable, even advanced, and we have other kids who may be working towards alternate content standards. We have some kids with actual clinical mental health diagnoses, and we have other kids whose challenges are more in line with a diagnosis of ADHD or autism. The one thing that is common to all these kids, though, in terms of how we need to approach them, is we must establish some kind of connection. We have to get their engagement. If we can't get that relationship going, there's nothing we're really going to be able to do. Now, for some kids, this may be as simple as a daily check-in, could be as short as 5 minutes, but at least it opens those communication channels and starts to build a foundation of trust in a relationship that we can build on, and we start to be identified as a go-to in times of need. For other students, we may literally have to teach them how to sit at a computer and engage with an instructor. I have had a laptop lid slammed on me more than once in early meetings, but without teaching that skill, we can't even begin to dream of addressing academic content. One thing that EI teachers are expected to do is teach social skills. And even in DVS, this is fairly easy to do in direct instruction, but these skills are not useful in isolation. So we have to get really creative in terms of practical application. That is not so easy in the virtual environment.
And that's something that I have seen in personally when I've been working with students in the virtual environment, that is very challenging. And people like you guys, like Lindsay and you, are experts on this matter. Like I don't know what to do with a student with a behavior challenge in a virtual school, but you guys help us through and help the students to get through the day. That's amazing.
Thanks, Oz. I mean, none of us were born knowing how to do this. And even last year, we didn't know because the pandemic and DVS was we're all learning as we're going. So now I would like to share a tool with you that, it's an assignment tracker. So of course there's practical application for helping kids actually get their stuff in, but it also helps kids from feeling overwhelmed. So it does have a social emotional component. So I'm going to let this go. This is for a secondary school student. They can walk through, determine when they're going to do something, who they need help from, and then we can track the status. When something's done, it gets marked off completely. All the class meets are also active hyperlinks, so they don't have to go searching around. And there's also reminders to check their emails, and you can see on the bottom that it's cumulative. Here's a really similar setup for an elementary school student. And I did not mention before that these are Google things. So not only can the child see them, but so can we, and so can their parents. So it's a good way of keeping on top of things and providing support when it's needed, but maybe isn't asked for.
I probably need to use that tool myself because sometimes I get sidetracked with other things to do. But Jennifer, these are great techniques, great strategies, and I think any parent, any teacher, any student can apply it to their brick and mortar classroom or to the virtual school.
Thanks, Oz.
All right.
Thanks, Oz. It has been a pleasure to chat with you tonight and to share our journey. It has been an exciting year full of rewarding and challenging experiences. And the DVS special education team could not have done our jobs without the support of the general education teachers in DVS, our administrators, the counselors, and the ISS team. It truly takes a village, and we appreciate being part of the community. In DODEA, it's never goodbye. It's just see you later. So auf Wiedersehen.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Ciao.
Tschüss.
Nos veremos pronto.